So, what if I told you there's a way to eat that's not only backed by some serious science, but is also, well, simple and doesn't involve a bunch of crazy extreme rules? Today, we're diving into the Nordic Dietary Guidelines. It's this really refreshing approach to nutrition that might just change the way you think about your food.
You know that feeling, right? You're just tired of it all. The endless cycle of conflicting advice, the calorie counting, the diets that feel more like a punishment than something that's actually good for you. That feeling of diet fatigue is so real, and it leaves a lot of us just searching for a way to eat that's healthier, more sustainable, and actually feels good.
Well, the good news is there is a better way. The Nordic Dietary Guidelines, they're not another one of those rigid short-term fixes. You should really think of them more like a flexible blueprint, a roadmap for building a healthier eating pattern that actually fits into your real life for the long haul. All right, so what makes this blueprint so smart? Let's kick things off by really getting to the core philosophy behind the Nordic approach. We're going to see how it helps you build a way of eating that's both realistic and, something you can actually stick with. Okay, so here's what really sets the Nordic guidelines apart. They have this incredibly powerful dual focus. I mean, these are official science-based recommendations designed not only to help reduce the risk of things like heart disease and type 2 diabetes, but also to push for a more sustainable way of living for the entire planet. It's that combo of personal health and global health that makes them so unique. So let's get into the why behind all this. The whole Nordic way of eating is basically built on just a handful of simple but really powerful guiding principles. And these aren't strict rules you have to memorize. Think of it more like a compass that just helps you make smarter food choices one meal at a time.
And here they are. It's all so beautifully simple and seriously effective. First up, eat more plants. Think vibrant colors, lots of textures. Second, make whole grains your go-to, your default. Third, focus on better quality fats, not just trying to avoid fat altogether. Fourth, be a little more mindful of your protein, choosing lean and sustainable options. And finally, build amazing flavor with herbs and spices instead of just automatically reaching for the salt. See, these are things you can literally start doing today.
Let's dig into that first principle for a sec, because it's really the cornerstone of this whole thing. Plant forward does not mean you have to go full vegetarian or vegan. Nope. It's just about shifting the balance on your plate to include more vegetables, fruits, berries, and legumes. The key here, and this is super important, is that it's about adding more of the good stuff, not just taking things away. And this brings us to another brilliant idea. Fat isn't the enemy. It's all about the type of fat you're choosing. So the Nordic approach is all about those heart-healthy, unsaturated fats from sources like fatty fish, nuts, and seeds. And a real hero in Nordic kitchens is rapeseed oil, which a lot of us actually know as canola oil. And it's just packed with those beneficial omega-3s. Okay, so we've got the principles down. But what does this actually look like when you're trying to make dinner on a busy Tuesday night? Let's translate these ideas into what goes on your actual plate. I love this because it's such a powerful and simple visual. Forget counting calories. Just look at your plate. The goal is to fill half of it with all sorts of colorful vegetables. Then, 1/4 gets a quality protein like fish or legumes, and the final quarter is for whole grains like rye or barley. That's it. It's a super simple guide to a perfectly balanced meal. And to make things even easier, here's a little cheat sheet for your next grocery run. Try to fill your cart with these essentials: root veggies and berries, and hey, frozen is a fantastic option, hearty whole grains like rye and oats, and sustainable proteins like fatty fish and beans. And the stuff on the right, not forbidden. Just think of them as things you have once in a while, not every single day. One of the easiest and most impactful swaps you can make is just upgrading your grains. So instead of that plain white bread, try a dense whole grain rye. It's amazing for keeping your blood sugar stable. Make oatmeal your go-to breakfast. Toss some chewy barley into a soup. These little changes can dramatically boost your fiber, which is fantastic for your gut and helps you feel full and satisfied for way longer. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. Because like we touched on earlier, the benefits of eating this way go way beyond just your own health. The way these guidelines are designed actually creates this positive ripple effect for the environment, too.
Because this whole approach is naturally plant-forward, it just has a much lighter environmental footprint. It also encourages you to eat with the seasons, which means less energy is spent on transport and storage. It gets you thinking about planning your meals to cut down on food waste, and it guides you towards seafood that's been sourced responsibly. It's just a more mindful approach to food on a global scale.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material. It just perfectly captures the whole vibe of the Nordic guidelines. It's not about being a perfect environmentalist or a perfect eater. It's simply about moving in a better direction, one small, sustainable step at a time.
And that, right there, is really the main takeaway. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. It's all about building a flexible, enjoyable, and nourishing pattern of eating that you can feel great about and actually stick with for life. So, as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this little challenge. Just think, what's one small thing you could try this week to bring a little bit of the Nordic way into your life? Maybe it's swapping to a whole grain bread, or adding a side of roasted root veggies to dinner, or even just trying one new fish recipe. What's the one step you'll take? The power to make a positive change is right there on your plate.